Right. Okay. So that's presence check. Okay.
Yeah, sir.
All right. That's presence check. Then we look at um, gender. Okay. So gender, I told you, like, okay, since it's one character, if it is showing, I mean, if it allows us to put F and M only, F or M only, it would be better. No? Otherwise, we can enter 5 or any number, any other letter. Right. So let's see how we can control that. Right. To do that, this is where we need to drop this down. Watch carefully. Drop this down, the data type, and go for lookup wizard. Go for lookup wizard. Okay. Watch carefully. And then I will type the values that I want. Next. And this is where we need to type the values that we want to display to the user. F or M. F and M in separate rows. Next. Gender is fine. It's the name of the field. Finish. Okay, you don't see anything happening here. But if you go to lookup tab here, you will see it has created something called combo box. Now, what is a combo box?
So,
Yeah,
so should we put limit to list or no?
I'll come to that later. Wait.
Okay.
So, what is a combo box? Combo box is a drop down. Even this one is a combo box. See, I dropped down and it showed all the values. So it's easy to select from a combo box than typing the values. So what we are doing here is creating a combo box so that we show the user, okay, these are the values that are available. You select one of these, right? And then we are we are allowing him to select what we give, so we can reduce the errors. Okay, so combo box, value list, F and M. Can you see F and M within double quotes and separate by a semicolon? That's how we uh, create the combo box. So this type of validation is called uh, uh, list check, right? Yeah, it is called a list check because the list is already given and the list was typed. We typed the list. We didn't take the list from a table, right? There's another one called lookup check. So that is there's something called table lookup. If it is table lookup, we are bringing the values from another table. But here we type the value, so it's called we can call it a lookup check or a list check. We type the values. Actually, we didn't type it here. We typed it through lookup wizard. Okay, so how do you do it? If you want to convert a field into a combo box, just click there, drop it down, go to lookup wizard. Okay, I will type the values. Next, just type the values in separate rows and finish. That's all. Okay, can you do that first? Then I will talk about limit to list. After creating it, go to lookup and see whether it appears like this. Finish. Thumbs up. If you have any questions, let me know. Okay, great. Now, so they told me about limit to list, right? Now here the problem is if you go to view, save changes, if you go to view, gender, you will see if you drop it down, it shows the values. Perfect. That's what we wanted, right? But the problem is it is not really validating. It is just showing it as a drop down. Because if I put anything else, it will still accept. Even a number, it is going to no. Yeah, even number, it will accept. So it is not really validating against these values. What happened was it just created the combo box. So to do that, we have two options. One is, as he said, limit to list. Over here under lookup, limit to list can be set to yes. And if you go there and check, if you try to enter something else, it will give this message. But this message is an access generated message. It's not the message that we want to display. It's not a custom generated message. So how do you put a custom generated message? Well, press escape, go back to design view. Instead of this limit to list, keep it as no. You go to general, and there you have the validation rule. Okay, there we can put it like this. What are the two values that we need to accept? F and M. So we put it like this. F or M. That means we are accepting either F or M. Okay. And the validation text will be, remember I told you that validation rule is always what is accepted. So this is what is shown if this is violated. If the validation rule is violated, this is the message that will appear. So I'm going to say select F or M from the drop down. Now that makes sense than the access generated message. Save it, go to view, this time displays, try something else. There you go. Select FOM from the drop down. Is that clear? Press escape again, go to design view, right. Can you? You try both, okay? Limit to list, you try, and then you set it to no again, and then come back and add this validation rule and see. If you didn't understand, let me know. Finish. Can I see a thumbs up? Izumi? Right. Okay. Finally, I will show you one more validation, right? Okay. Let's say we want to have number of years. Number of years in school. And that's going to be a number. Right. Let's say the student can be in the school only up to 13 years, right? So we want to validate whether this number is between 1 and 13. Okay, that is called a range check. So we looked at the several validation checks. We looked at presence check. We looked at primary key checking duplicate values. Then we looked at list check, right, or the lookup check. And then now it is range check. It is called a range check because we are checking whether the values are ranging from 1 to 13. Simple. Go to validation rule. Use the keyword between 1 and 13. Again, I told you that validation rule is the accepted range. So accepted range is between 1 and 13. If you violate this, the message will be validation text. So you can say number of years must be between 1 and 13. Simple. Save it. Click on the datasheet view and save it. Okay, here's the number of years. We'll try to enter. We need to add the primary key, remember. Okay. And the number of years, I'm going to put 15. There you go. Number of years must be between 1 and 13. Okay, let's see. 0. There you go. Let's try 5. First name cannot be blank. Tap, 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 tap. Yes. Understood. Now, after entering this record, you can't cancel it by pressing escape. You will have to delete. So you right click here and select delete. And yes. Okay. Final one. Can you add the range check? Okay, finish. It's me, okay. Sudesh, Tanu. Test it also. Test it. Okay. Sudesh. Sudesh, what about you? Shugit, I will
One second.
record. Yeah. Shugit, I will publish the recorded one, and you follow it and do it.
Okay, sir.
I'm going to send you a homework and make sure that you have sent that homework to me, the software chapter. I will correct it and send it to you in due course. Okay.
So the software chapter, that chapter questions.
Yeah, you sent, no? You sent.
Sir, I sent it. Sir. I sent it. Sir.
Izumi, did you send? You sent, no? Izumi. Anumi also sent. Sudesh, what about you?
Sir, forgot. Wait, I'll send, sir.
Say. Right, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Presence check we did. Rain check we did. And I can demonstrate type check also, because now here it is accepting a number, right? And if you just try for number of years in school, you try a text value and press enter. There you go. That is type check. It is accepting a number, but I'm trying to enter a text. So data type is different. That is type check. So presence check we did, rain check we did, type check we did. Okay, Sudesh, finish. Okay, this is going to be your homework. Okay,
Thanks, sir.
finish now. Right. So this is your homework. Create a table for to store data about a vehicle, about vehicles. Include 5 fields with a primary key, then apply following validations. Rain check. You have to decide on which field you are going to apply rain check, right? Lookup check, then presence. Okay, I'm going to say this here. So select the location, give the name, and then create. That will create a new database. Now, the database, I told you that we store data in a tabular format. A tabular format looks like this, where you have rows and columns. So you can see already we have got a table. We don't need this. We are going to create our own table. So to create your own table, you need to go to create. Right. Now, before creating a table, can you quickly create your database, which is test? Go to file, new, blank database, select the location, give the name and create. Okay, quickly. Give a thumbs up if you have finished. Okay, Isumi, Sudesh?
Yes.
Yeah, give a thumbs up quickly. Okay. So we are in this test database. You can see the name here. So you don't need to do this part in the exam, right? Because they give the database. Okay, then what you do is you go to create, and we have two options to create a table, either table or table design. We normally go for table design. Okay, now this is the design. This is where we need to tell the database, okay, what are the data items that we are going to store in the database in this particular table. And also remember, a database is a collection of tables, not just one table. There will be many tables. And later we'll see these tables will be linked. So first table I'm going to create is going to store data about students. In fact, the database should have stored as students. But okay, let's take it like this. It's going to store details of tests. So if test is going to be stored, then there should be students, right? Because students are the ones who take tests. So I'm going to create this table as students. If it is students, what are the field names? What are the data items that I'm going to store? So they will be the field names. So in a table, fields will be the columns and rows will be records. We'll talk about records in a moment. So we are actually going to create the columns now, field names. So first of all, I'm going to have a field called student. Let's give it like this, student ID. And when we talk about data, we treat data in a particular way. We call it data type. Some data can be treated as numbers. Some are text, some are Boolean, where you have true, false states, two states. Some are currencies. So right here, we have to set the data type for this student ID field. So if you are thinking of a student ID which has both characters and numbers, you better go for text, short text. Okay, we also have number, large number, numbers, right? They differ from the amount of numbers you can store. Then date and time, currency, auto number, yes, no for Boolean or two state values. And we'll be using lookup wizard later on. Basically, we'll be working with text, number, date and time, currency, auto number, and yes and no. And later, this one. Okay, so I'm going to keep it as short text. And then I need to know the name of the student. So I'm going to have first name, and it's going to be text. You can just press tab to jump between the cells. Then I'm going to have the surname, text, DOB is going to be date and time. Let's have telephone. And telephone, if you're going to have leading zeros like 071, it can't be numbers. If you store 071 like that, leading zeros, then it has to be text, because in numbers, you can't have leading zeros. Why? Leading zeros will be omitted. Okay, so it has to be text. So you can decide if you are storing leading zeros, then it has to be text. Okay, Isumi, can you give me another field related to the student that we can store? Isumi, can you tell me another example of a field? Yeah,
Gender.
I don't get it.
So gender.
Yeah, gender is correct. Okay, gender. And it has to be short text, not logical. Okay, Some students, they put logical. If it is logical, then gender would be like yes, no, right? So it'll appear like gender yes or gender no. That's weird, no? We don't have genderless people, no? So it has to be text. When it is text, you can either display it as F and M or male and female, right? I'll show you how to display that. Okay. Sudesh, can you tell me another field which is related to student? So remember, all these fields should be related to student because this table is going to store data about students. Okay, Sudesh. Sudesh, hurry up. Tell me another field related to students. Sudesh, any other field that we can have related to student? Sudesh,
No idea.
hey, come on, come on. Yo. Okay, tell me. Can you think of another field related to students, just like this? Tell me.
School?
What?
Address.
Okay, address is fine. Thanumi, you said school.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that is also correct. If you want to find out the school of the students, if they are belonging to the same school, of course, we don't need the school. But yeah, if they are different students, yes. Okay, we can have address. Good. And we can have school also. Okay, can you tell me, having test marks here, is it relevant to hold the test marks? Okay, let's say each student does 8 subjects. So we need to store marks of 8 subjects. Is it practical or is it relevant to have those 8 subject marks here for every student? What do you think? Yes or no? Yeah, what do you think? I mean, just guess. Is it a good idea to have the student marks also in this table?
No.
No, because I told you at the beginning that this is going to be related to the student, right? So student marks would be taken as separate. The reason is this: if we store 8 subject marks, right, and those subjects will be repeated for every student, right? Every student is going to do science, every student is going to do IT. So these subjects will be repeating for every student. So if you keep repeating fields here, something like this, right? And I put number here. Now what will happen? Science will be done by every student. Okay, if there are 10 students, if there are 10 students, for all the 10 students, if you are going to store the science marks, what will happen? I mean, science is fine. Okay, just one subject now. Okay, let's take maths also. Right? So now what will happen is science and maths are going to be done by all the students. Right? So if you take one student for if you take one student, for that student, we need to store science marks, maths marks. So what will happen? that particular student's data will be repeated for science and maths. Okay. Let's say Sudesh science marks, Sudesh maths marks, right? And well, for one term, of course, this is okay. But now the problem is if you are going to store the science and maths marks for 3 terms, then it will be repeating even more. So when you are doing a good database design, it's very important that you reduce the repetition, which is also called data duplication. Okay, so marks here are not really related directly in this table. What we can do is we can have another table where we store marks. And then what do we do? Then the students table and the marks table can be linked together. Through the link, we can find the marks of a particular student. And when you have like that, we can even store marks of 3 terms, 3 or more terms. So remember, keep in mind, it's very important that we reduce the data duplication when you're designing a database, right? So we are not going to keep marks. These are all fine because first name, surname, date of birth, telephone, gender, address, school, they all are directly related to the student, right? Now, before we save this table, there's an important thing. What is that important thing? Every table, better to have a field that identifies every record individually. What I mean is, in this table, if you are going to have 20 students, there'll be 20 rows for each, 20 rows for all the 20 students, 1 row each for student. Then if you take 20 students, there can be students with the same first name, same surname, same first name and surname also. Then we won't be able to find them out individually. And that's why in a school, they give an admission number to you. Why? The admission number is unique to every student. Therefore, here the student ID is like the admission number, and it is going to have unique values for every student. If you have 100 students, student ID is going to be unique to everyone. It's not going to have duplicate values. If you have a field like that in a table, that table field is called primary key. Primary key. So it's important that we define a primary key to a table. Also remember, there can be more than one field serving as a primary key. We'll see that later. So here, first name can be repeating, surname can be repeating, date of birth also can be repeating. So they are not suitable for primary keys. It's the student ID which will have unique values for every student. So this has to be set as a primary key. How do you do that? You select the field, you can go and select this option here, right? And then you see this small key appearing, or else you can right click on this and select primary key like this. Okay, can you quickly create this table? We didn't save it yet. Just get the fields and the data type. If you have finished, give a thumbs up quickly. Jugit, we are recording this. Even if you have missed, you can check it. Thanumi finished? Sudesh? Izumi?
Yes, sir.
Thanumi?
Yes.
All right. So we set the primary key. Okay, now we didn't save the table. Right. So the next thing we are going to do is to set the field sizes. Okay. Now that's pretty easy. Student ID, field size 255 characters. Not. I mean, it's too much. So if you can decide, like, okay, if you're going for 5, let's say 3 characters and or 1 character and 4 numbers, you can go for 5. Basically, that's the number of characters, right? First name also we don't need 255. We can go for like 225. Surname also maybe like 30, right? You can just enter, right? Just think and enter. Date of birth, of course, it's already set, but what we can do is you can set the format. If you select this and drop down the format, we normally go for short date. Right? Now, short date follows the format of the system date over here. Can you see the system date is starting with the date and then the month DD, MM, YYY. So it will follow the same format here if you select short date, system date. Okay. So we normally go for short date. Right. And the telephone number, if you are storing 10 numbers, then we can give 10, including 0. Right. So date of birth, short date, telephone number 10, gender. Again, we don't need 255. If you are storing F and M, we need only 1. So let's go for F and M, right? So we need only 1 character. Address, of course, yeah, we might need like 50. School, of course, yeah, then another 30 or something. Right. So that's the second thing we do, right? We set the field sizes, actually the third thing. Then the data types, and then we set the primary key, and then we have to set the field sizes for each field. Again, you don't need to do this in the exam because everything is given. You just need to use, right? I'm just doing this for you to, you know, remind the basic concept of database, right? Can you quickly set the field sizes? Right, just go on. You don't need to copy my value. Just think and do it, right? Student ID 5 because I thought I'm going to have a character and find 4 numbers. First name I gave 25, surname I gave 30, date of birth I selected short date, which is DDMMYYYY. That's date, month, and year. Telephone number I gave 10. Gender I gave only 1 because I'm going to store F and M. That of course you can also put it as 1. Address I gave 50. School I give 30. Okay, go ahead. Finish. Thank you, Izumi. I was looking for that link. Okay, all of you finish? All finish?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Tanvi, finish?
Yes.
Right, so the next thing is to save the table. Let's save the table. You can just right click on the tab here and select save, and let's give the name students. Now it's saved, comes here. Right, okay, save the table.